Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our commodity technical analysis update. Give you my financial opinion. We'll go through the dollar, 10-year and 30-year yields, and work our way down through precious metals and other commodities that I follow. So let's dive right into it. Let's get in. Let's see what's going on. We've got the dollar here. Again, I've talked about this before with the dollar. We've got large selling pressure coming into this, and we're starting to come and contract up to a point where the buyers equal the sellers. We're probably going to dip down lower here, and then we'll have to see after that dropout what it looks like. So short term, I'm expecting a move lower. I just need to know what those sellers, how hard they're going to hit it. If they don't hit it very hard and we just kind of drift down a couple of days, we'll see a move higher. If we really rip it to the downside here, where we get another large rip, we'll call it a large rip lower, big selling pressure down days that just come down like this, and we get a big rip, and then we get another kind of up move, that is a stair-stepping pattern to the downside. I don't know how much selling pressure's left in this thing. We'll have to find out and see over the next couple of days of what this looks like, but I'm expecting a move lower in the dollar very soon. The 10-year yield is also starting to roll over. We're getting that type of move where we get a large down kind of movement, and then it's struggling with little up candlesticks to come back up. Now we've got another down candlestick, which is a bearish engulfing, bearish piercing type pattern that is developed today. I think that yields could potentially head lower. Now, are they front running what might be released tomorrow? Yeah, maybe. Maybe we're going to see a little bit lower inflation number. I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to see, but it looks like bonds want to sell off here. Whatever news does come out, that can obviously move these markets vastly different than what is being positioned in the markets today. But today, it looks like this is our high. It's doing a double top, and it wants to go lower. But news can obviously impact this where it blows it to the upside, depending on what news that is in the short term. TLT also getting a little bit of buying pressure today with those weaker yields. Bond prices higher, yields lower. They're inversely correlated, but overall, momentum is obviously down. TYX, we've got a reversal candlestick, a bearish piercing where we could head lower. What I'm seeing here is a large bearish engulfing. We went up a little bit with small little candlesticks, and now we're getting more selling pressure. That looks like it wants to go down. It could be considered a double top, but we'll have to see what news releases tomorrow on the inflation numbers. TYX to TNX, it's slightly higher today, 0.5%. That's a little bit of a tailwind behind gold and silver. Commodities heading a little bit lower today, down about 1%. We've seen that with oil down a little bit. And I think this is good from a buying perspective, because if we do a retest move down to this region, I like oil a lot if we get a little bit more pullback here. Gold up a little bit. I think this looks bullish. I think we could easily head higher here. We'll see what the news is released tomorrow, but this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 large up candlesticks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pullback, and it's in a much less of a pullback than the difference from the bottom to the top here. So that is usually bullish. We have a larger move higher in the same number of candlesticks than the move it made lower. That is something that I look for in the chart patterns. I think that we'll head higher. Will we break through the downtrend line? That is yet to be determined. But it looks like it's positioning for a move higher at this time. Silver, a little bit sideways. The opening and closing price is starting to come to basically converging on itself. The buyers are equaling the sellers. We'll see if we get a turn here and an eventual move higher. We might be a little bit premature. We might have another day or two of either a small candlestick and then a reversal candlestick, maybe a little hammer pattern like that or something. I'll leave that in there for tomorrow, and we'll see what we happen there. So platinum, it's trying to move up. We're still getting these little wicks at the top. There's still sellers in it, but it's looking better. We've got the massive move higher, the smaller sell-off. and we're just waiting for the buyers to come in and turn it around. XAU to gold ratio, that ratio is still within this kind of expanding pattern, megaphone pattern. Undecisive of where this thing's going to go at this time. We've got SILJ moving a little bit higher. That looks good to actually move on higher, in my opinion. That is a bullish engulfing. We've got lots of large green candlesticks all in this mix here, and the down days are a lot smaller and compressed. The sellers are getting tired. I think that we could see a move higher in SILJ. GDX also looking better. Bigger up days, smaller down days. That's usually a stair-stepping pattern to go higher. I like it. Not much downside, I think, here with a lot of support below us. All this trading that's gone down in this region is all support below us and where we're at today. Crude oil heading a little bit lower today. I like it when this thing's heading lower. Hopefully we get a little bit lower down to this low 80s. I'd love it if it got down there. I'm a buyer. I am a big-time buyer in oils and natural gas. Natural gas, hopefully we can get a little bit more, eke out a little bit more down here to that area. And that is where I'm going to make my attack. XOP, yeah, you know me, heading up today. Looks like people are front running. They're getting positioned in the oil and natural gas companies, although the commodities themselves are heading a little bit lower. I like it. I like this group and I like this area a lot. Are we going to get a little bit further pullback in the companies? That is yet to be determined, guys. I can tell you that crude oil looks like we could head a little bit lower. Natural gas, I think we could head a little bit lower in the short term. And then I think we're off to the races for the winter. It's going to take a little bit more time for this to kind of play out. This month will be a good month to be looking at companies. OIH, energy service companies, I like it where it's at, right on support. And that's usually where I like to look. Uranium, this is the future pricing. I do like the future pricing. This looks like we could move at any time to the upside for the futures. It actually looks pretty strong. And then we've got Sprott, Physical Uranium Trust. This is also looking good. We were at support yesterday. I said, we got to see what happens here. Buyers came in, pushed it higher. That looks a lot better for SPUT. That does look like we could potentially try to move on up with the formation we have today. URNM is also at support. I like it down at support. You know what I do. Our people are kind of saying, is this a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder? Maybe, maybe not. With a neckline here. If that is the case, then we could potentially head lower down here. Looking at the price action today, we're right on that line. We're getting a little bit of buying pressure underneath us. We'll have to see what tomorrow brings us. Uranium futures look strong. SPUT looks strong. And I think that URNM was probably down because of Camco. Camco, diluting their shares, raising money, gap down 13% today. We're now back at that support level where we were before. We'll have to see what happens here with Camco. And really a mixed bag in the uranium sector today. TAN heading lower. This does not look good. This definitely looks like we're heading lower with TAN. I can tell you this, a lot of these solar companies are not money makers. And I do think interest rates are a gigantic headwind for companies that aren't making money. So we are heading a little bit lower here. It does not look good for TAN at this time. And we're starting to come back below that support level. And we'll have to see if we bounce back up over the next couple of days. If it's a monthly close for TAN, if it closes down here, I would say that's getting a little bit more bearish. COPX heading slightly up today. And we're just kind of moving sideways at this time. We've got nice big buying pressure, smaller selling pressure. I'm looking for a move higher. As weird as that sounds for copper. CRB to S&P 500. I still think this looks massively bullish. Small little bloody noses there, two of them. Going to head higher with that setup in the short term. And again, guys, we're only playing with statistical probabilities, not for sure outcomes. Rolling down to rare earth metals. We are getting a little bit of buying pressure. We've got a little hammer candlestick today. That usually resolves in a bounce to the upside, a reversal candlestick. So we'll see if we reverse tomorrow. Again, we're right on that support line going across here, that big long-term support line. Lithium also coming up to support. We'll probably get down to the support level at 63.50 and see where it goes from there. We've got the S&P 500. It looks like it's just moving sideways today. Same with the NASDAQ composite, US composite index, just moving sideways. I don't see too much support underneath us. We could easily drop a good bit if the news comes out tomorrow that it's highly inflationary and that, they're going to be, people will think high inflation at higher interest rates. And higher interest rates is a headwind for stocks in general. These would probably head lower. EEM, we're right at the support level, and we'll see if this support level holds. If it doesn't hold, then we could see a larger move lower, a big breakout to the downside. This would have been a false breakout and then a move lower. This is highly correlated with the dollar, DXY. Lower DXY, this moves up, and it's going to be used as a support level. Higher DXY, I think we're heading lower in emerging markets. XHB, scrolling in there, we do have a little bit more selling pressure. We could see this head a little bit lower in the short term with this bearish engulfing that came out today. We've broken the downtrend line. We still got a higher and higher lows, so we'll see if we come back and hold above the $54 level. Lumber heading higher, breaking to the upside. We'll see if lumber breaks out here, but looking a little bit better for lumber. Cocoa futures heading back below this support level. We could head back down to support at 22.42. Wheat heading a little bit lower today. This is a tough one to read. The buyers and sellers are starting to duke it out right where they're at. We'll have to see more data if the buyers come in and push it higher, if the sellers keep pushing. Soybeans trying to put together a little bottom here. We still got a little bit of selling pressure with the wicks at the top. Corn also at support, resistance, I should say. This looks bullish, bloody noses, heading higher. That's a big green candlestick with two little red guys. Profit-taking days, usually a continuation stair-stepping pattern. Copper, I would say, kind of a continuation pattern from the downside. Kind of hard to say because you could say this is the continuation here, and then we go sideways, flag pattern. I'm going to say it's kind of a mixed bag. We've got some selling pressure with the bearish engulfing, buying pressure coming up in the short term. Really indifferent at this point. I wouldn't really be trading this one at all. I'd like to see where it goes. Moo just moving sideways, filling that gap, and we'll see if we get some buying pressure here next couple trading sessions. So that's looking okay. We've got aluminum right at support, starting to gain a little bit of buying pressure. Hopefully we can get a little move higher here. And then we've got Baltic Dry Index. Nice little bloody nose on the weeklies. On the big long-term stuff, still looking good for a potential move higher. I think that the Baltic Dry Index is looking good. And a mixed bag in the companies. So that's what I've got for today, guys. Don't forget, we've got the Platinum Midweek Update. I put that on the Finding Value website for the Platinum members. I'll let you know what I'm doing, what I'm buying, and the companies that I like, and what's got my interest. I'm highly bullish a few companies. I'll talk about it during the Platinum Midweek Update. So if you guys want to get that Midweek Update, I post it on the website. If you're a Platinum member, you can see it. And it's on my Finding Value watch list if you guys want to see it. If you guys like the content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Overall, though, looking at all this stuff, I'm ultra bullish oil and natural gas. Not in the short term. I still think we may have a little bit more of a pullback. But when that thing bottoms out, I think we're going to go higher. Bottoming out here shortly, during this month, I should say. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve releases will end at some point here, probably in November. Freeport LNG terminals coming back online in November, late November. And yeah, I think it's looking good. Uranium's looking a little bit better too. It's looking like we want to try to turn around here. We'll see if the buyers got the juice to turn this thing around. I know people are getting a little frustrated with uranium, but guys, you just got to be patient. That's all it takes. I'm a huge bull in anything energy related. energy services, energy, anything. So we'll see what happens there, guys. All right, that's all I've got. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.